Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to be talking about Savernake Forest. This is designed by Rodrigo Orrego, and it is published by Devir.
All right, so this is basically a tile-laying style game, but they use cards instead of tiles. What you are trying to do is you are trying to match up these woodland animals along a path, but this path is going to be providing them with different kinds of food sources. But each animal only likes certain foods, and some more than others. So you're trying to match up their paths with the foods they like in order to score the maximum amount of points. And also, they don't like venturing outside of their cave unless they have enough protection. So, let me give you a quick overview of how that all works. All right, here is our setup for Savernake Forest. All right, basically we have 4 different locations on the board that we're going to be drafting our tiles from. If you draft this tile, you're going to get that rooster, which is going to give you the first player during the next round. So you get the first person to draft. All right, the next tile over here is going to come with the goat action, which is going to give you one of the water drops. It's going to kind of boost up one of the point values on your animal. I'll get to that in a little bit. The third action is going to give you that tile, as well as a burrow. A burrow is going to tell you how long you can go out of your house and still get resources. Again, I'll explain all that in a moment. And we start with one animal, but going over here to this final spot gives you yet another animal to put in your grid. This is kind of a tile-laying style game, even though we're using cards. What we're going to do is we're going to make a 4x4 grid of all of our little animals, as well as all the different resources they want. All right, let me show you what one of these animals looks like and what everything means. The leaf is just straight up victory points, so just by having this guy, we're going to get 2 victory points, which is great. We also have the burrow symbol. This says he can go out 3 spaces out of his home to gather resources. And again, you can modify that by getting more of those little wooden burrows over there by getting the armadillo action. Okay, and we also have all 4 of the foods represented on every single card. It's also going to tell you which food they like the most. So obviously this is the chipmunk. He likes the acorns the most. He's going to get 2 points per acorn. Not a huge fan of worms, not a huge fan of eggs, but also he will take strawberries. They're going to be worth 1 point apiece to him. Alright, so let's put him back down there. Now, these water droplets, what you can do is you can take one of those, again, if you take this action, and put one of those water droplets on any one of those 4 spots. What it's going to do is it's going to make each one of those resources worth 1 more victory point. So, let's say we draft this tile right here. That's a good tile for us because it's got an acorn on it, and we know we like acorns. Also, we're going to take our water droplet. We're going to put it on anything we want. We can either put it on the acorn to make our acorns worth 3 apiece, or right now we're also going to be getting a worm. Worms are worth 0 points to us, so maybe we want to move it over there to make sure that we get at least 1 point from that worm. That's really all there is to the game. You are simply just taking as many animals as possible, giving them paths to go down that are going to give them the resources that they like. The further out they can go, the more resources along their path is going to be determined by their burrows, and then also how much all the food they eat is going to be worth in terms of victory points is going to be determined by their starting tile values, as well as any water droplet that gets added to them. It's advantageous to go first so you can have the best pick of the litter, so maybe you want to draft from there so you can get that rooster. But again, these are always going to be worth victory points, the animals. That's going to be populated from this deck over here, whereas these 3 sections are all going to be populated from that deck over there, which are all going to be the paths that include the different resources on them. You cannot have a situation where 2 animals are going into the same path. You cannot do that. However, you can have situations where the path dead ends, and then you kind of next to it like that. That is a legal play. But you cannot have a situation where there's 2 animals eating the same resources off the same path. The game is going to last 15 rounds, so you're going to have a total of 16 cards in front of you, making a 4x4 grid. You cannot go outside of that 4x4 grid. And what's going to happen when that happens is we're going to take this, we're going to flip it over, and we are going to use it as a score chart. All of our animals are going to score whatever their leaf value is, that's just kind of their base value, as well as all the resources they're eating are going to be multiplied by how many points they are worth on the individual animal card. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
I thought the presentation of this was super cute. I liked the bits, I liked the cards and the little paths and the forest and the colors of the forest and the animals. I just was really here for the presentation of this. Loved it.
There's actually a 2-player variant in this game. This game plays up to 4 players, but when you're playing with a 2-player variant, it actually works a little differently, where you are making a double-sized board, and then also on top of that, you're drafting 2 cards every turn instead of just 1 card. I found that I actually liked that a little bit more. I felt like it gave me a little bit more control as far as when I was taking tiles, and also I had a little more flexibility, especially in the early and the mid game, as far as where I'd be placing things. And it wasn't until later on in the game where things got a little bit tight. But that happened a lot sooner in the 4-player version.
Yeah. I really liked the decision of sometimes wanting a card, but also sometimes wanting a bit. Like, sometimes I wanted to take from the armadillo because I want more protection so my animals can get more food, but sometimes I really need that card because that works perfect with the animal I'm trying to feed. But also sometimes I just know that I want to go first next turn because of something that I'm trying to do, so I want that, but I don't really need that card. But then also I need water. So you just like really want a little bit of everything, but you can't have everything. You just want it all, like in life.
Yeah, you get some, but you don't get it all.
Yeah.
I felt the same way as a nice decision point. I generally like those kind of path building style games. Just connecting all these different things together, trying to make these paths as efficient as possible. But I found in this game specifically, you weren't necessarily trying to make efficient paths. You were trying to make a path specifically for a specific animal, which was a little weird to me. Thematically, I was thinking more along the lines of a road, right? In a road where I have multiple different driveways backing onto that road. Why couldn't this animal and this animal and this animal all go to the same strawberry patch to get strawberries, or whatever the case is? Why is there just that single strawberry lying in the middle of the road? So I wanted there to be multiple animals to be able to go on the same path. So that was a little bit of a weird thing for me. I was able to kind of get over it once I started treating the game more like Point Salad. If you're not familiar with Point Salad, that's a game we've reviewed. Go check out our video and explain how that works. But basically, there's objective cards and then all these different vegetables. So you are trying to get those objective cards and then get the vegetables that match up to that to make it score the most. And once I started treating this game like Point Salad, instead of liking this, this thematic animal path game, it started making a lot more sense. So I had to kind of abstract the game a little bit in my head in order to make it work. So it took me out of the game a little bit. I didn't get to enjoy the cuteness as much as you did because I was thinking much more about mechanics of the game, which I tend to do anyways, but I was even further removed from this game because I just couldn't make it make sense in my head.
I will say that even though the game is pretty simple, our girls who are 10 and 6 struggled a little bit with this.
Yeah.
So even though it's like really simple and streamlined, there was just I don't know what it is, but their brains were not having it. So this is really fun because usually when somebody's not loving a game, it's me, not Ryan, but the roles are reversed. This is like Bizarro World because you're
good cop.
Yes.
I'm bad cop this time.
I enjoyed this. Like, even when we were playing with our girls and they had no idea what was happening, it was kind of frustrating because they'd draft a card and then they wouldn't know where to play it and then it was their turn again. And I was like, oh my gosh, just take a card. And sometimes we didn't know what bits they were to take because, anyway, even with that play with them, I was like, this is fun. And Ryan's like, but the 2-player, like Ryan said, redeemed it for him. But
a little. This is still a pass for me.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. I liked the gameplay. And when Ryan was talking about the restrictions of where you can place and how the animals can't be on the same path, I enjoyed that restriction. I enjoyed trying to work around that and figure it out. And here's the funny thing. I've yet to win this game. Ryan is beating me. And not just like little beating me, but handedly beating me. So he even understands it better than I do. And he's still like, meh. But I'm losing it every single time I play. And I'm like, yeah, this is fun. So let's just like really, really weird to have that happen between us.
Yeah, like I said, there's some cool things going on here, and it is adorable. But overall, there's other path laying games, other tile laying games that I would choose before this one.
Well, that's unfortunate. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.